to an algebra tutorial video working our way through understanding linear graphs and patterns. In this video, we're going to talk about how to find a slope-intercept form equation if all we're given is a table of values. So let's take a look. We got a nice table of values, some x's and y values that relate, but we're trying to put a slope-intercept equation in the form of y equals mx plus b. Let's review really quickly what all these things are. So m in this form is just the slope of the line. It's the average rate of change. It's what's happening, or the steepness of the line, the pattern that's being added over and over and over again. So those are all things we've been talking about that are slope. B is the y-intercept. It's where my line, if I was to graph it, would cross the y-axis. So if I'm going to find a slope-intercept form equation, I need to be able to figure out both of these things just based off the table. All right, so let's see what we have going on here. Let's start with the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis. I know the y-intercept always has to be associated with an x value of 0 because it lines up at x is 0 horizontally. So let's take a look on my equation here, and I can see that I'm given when x equals 0, y equals 11. Well, that's my y-intercept. So at the point 0, 11, I'm going to put the value 11 in for b because that's my y-intercept. All right, we're halfway there. Now I just got to find the slope. The slope, if you remember, is value for m is simply the change in y. So we subtract a couple of y values from 2 points. I always need 2 points to find the slope. And it's divided by the change in x. How much is our x values changing between those 2 points? What's nice about my table is I can use any 2 points that I want to. So I'm going to use these two right here. So there's my 2 y values. So let's actually follow this pattern here. If I subtract the y values, so I'm going to make 4 my y value for y2 minus negative 24 is my y value for y1. So we've taken 2 points, and I'm going to subtract the y values. Now I also got to subtract the x values for those 2 points. So negative 2 is the x value that goes with negative 4, or positive 4, sorry. And I'm going to subtract from that negative 10. So there we go. We picked 2 points from our table that we're going to use to find the slope. So 4 minus negative 24 becomes 4 plus 24, which is just 28. All right, negative 2 minus negative 10 becomes negative 2 plus 10, which is just positive 8. So I got a fraction. I can reduce it down by dividing the top and bottom by 2. 28 divided by 2 is 14. So I get 14 over 4. I can reduce that down again more to get 7 over 2. And 7 over 2 I could rewrite as 3.5. So there is the slope of the line. So my slope is 3.5. We just calculated that out. My y-intercept is 11. So I can write a point slope form equation based on substituting those values in for m and b. So this table is shown by the equation y equals 3.5, that's what I'm adding over and over again, times x, because it's a relationship between two variables x and y, plus 11. That's the specific point that my line we're designating to go through. There you go. There is an equation showing the relationship between x and y, and it exactly represents the relationship between x and y shown in the table of values. So there we go. Hopefully that was a helpful tutorial as you're working your way through understanding the slope-intercept form and how to write slope-intercept forms to represent points and tables and information that we're given.